blueberry bread. I'm going to start with some sort of oil, which in this case I'm going to use applesauce so it'll be healthier. I'm going to use about a cup of applesauce, and then I'll melt a stick of butter and add that here too so that the bread will be a little more browned at the top. Alright, here's the butter, adding it to the cup of applesauce. I'm going to be doing 2 loaves, and normally I do a cup of sugar per loaf, but because I'm trying to cut back on the sugar a little bit, just because it's supposed to be our breakfast, I'm just going to do 1 heaping cup of sugar for the 2 loaves. And so I'm mixing the oils, which is the applesauce and the butter, with the sugar, and then I'll add the vanilla and eggs. Just a little splash of vanilla, well, maybe more than a splash. I would say it's going to be about 2 teaspoons worth of vanilla. I think I'll do 3 eggs, and we'll see how that turns out. Okay, I'm going to wipe off the counter. Before I add in the dry ingredients, I'm going to use up this little bit of sour cream here I got from a restaurant today. I'll add that in just because I want to get rid of it. And I'll just mix it in with the wet ingredients. Okay, pretty well incorporated. Yellow sloshy mixture. Okay, now on dry ingredients, I'm just going to mix them separately so that it's less likely that there's clumps of baking soda and baking powder in there that aren't fully mixed in. So I'm going to whisk all the dry ingredients together. Normally I would think 2 cups of flour per loaf, so I'm going to do 4 cups of flour. And I'll do salt next. I would say generally about a teaspoon per loaf. So I'll just do that. I'm going to do a teaspoon of baking powder and a teaspoon of baking soda. Well, maybe less than a teaspoon of baking soda. 3/4 of a teaspoon. I'm just going to be a little more cautious with the baking soda because it can tend to make things taste a little saltier. Alright, and then I'm going to whisk this. So the method here, I have generally the right amount for the wet ingredients, and then, like I said, the 2 cups per loaf kind of idea for the dry ingredients. Then whatever moisture I need from there, I'll just add with milk or heavy cream. If I didn't have the heavy cream, I would just use normal milk. Or maybe buttermilk. It's already thickening pretty well, so I'm just going to add some milk in here. Thin it out a little before I add the rest of the flour. Oh, I almost forgot. What I normally do, I'm glad I'm remembering this now, I normally add the blueberries to the flour mixture. So I'm going to do that. Okay. I'm going to do 2.5 cups of blueberries. Mix them up in the dry ingredients and then add the rest to the batter. Because I can. I'm just trying to get it moist enough so that it's a nice sort of cakey dough. Not as thin as a cake batter. Maybe I would say comparable to a pancake batter. Maybe a little thicker. How about muffin batter? We'll settle on muffin batter. Alright, I'm going to try to avoid breaking too many of these blueberries. So I'm going to stir it the rest of the way with the spatula. And just make sure that all the flour is incorporated right. And if I had actually run out of milk, I would have just added a little water. Almost there. Alright, I think that's good. I'm going to get the loaf pans ready. You could butter or spray and then flour the loaf pans, but I'm going to use parchment paper because one of my pans is non-stick. I just don't trust those anymore. Some of them are chipping on me, so I don't want that to happen with it. Preheat the oven for 350 on convection bake. I might sometime try to do 375, but because 350 on convection bake tends to be hotter, typically when you use convection bake, you don't have to use as high heat as normal. So I always default to the slightly lower temperature. I'm going to try to keep it vaguely even. If I wanted to make this a blueberry lemon bread, what I would do is I'd add lemon extract or replace some of the liquid with lemon juice, like a 1/4 cup of that, or maybe a 1/2 cup of the milk for lemon juice. And what I also do is I probably do only a little bit of baking soda. I found out the hard way that if you use baking soda in a lemon bread recipe or something like that, basically what it does is when the baking soda reacts with any acid in the recipe, it just cancels it out. So if you're putting vinegar in there to react with baking soda, it'll cancel that flavor out. Same thing with a lemon. If you're trying to make it taste like lemon, don't use hardly any baking soda. Default to baking powder, because that active ingredient in there, that's what it reacts with instead of the lemon. Well, I hope these turn out well. The real question is, how long will they take to bake? I think 1 hour will be enough.